stupid setup.
Apologise for that.
Hello and welcome to Jokes with Mark Simmons, the podcast where I chat to another comedian about jokes they can't get to work. As always, I'm joined in the studio by the one and only Mr. Danny Ward.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Danny, and we're also joined by a very special guest. We've got Laura Smyth in the house.
Yay! Hello.
Here we go. Cracking stuff. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm all right, actually. I'm all right. So what's been happening? You've been busy. Has your Live at Apollo gone out yet?
Live at the Apollo goes out on Friday the 13th. So I can say this Friday, but I don't know when the podcast's going out.
January.
Friday the 13th of Jan, and then it'll be on iPlayer, I'm sure.
Exciting. How was that?
It was really lovely. Everyone says how was it? And I give the same answer, which is I decided to enjoy it.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean? I decided to enjoy it. And
Brilliant.
As soon as you do that, you can step out and it's that pinch yourself when you see the big sign.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of, well, it is. I think it's in the mind's eye of a lot of comedians, isn't it? You go, stepping out on that stage. And I think it's the same thing. You hope you get your first laugh. Then you get your first laugh, then you ease into it.
So when I did Mock the Week, the first time, because Mock the Week was huge when I started comedy, so that was literally the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And when I got to the studio, you got that thing of like, oh my God, that's the studio. But once you actually do it, you're like, oh, this is the job. Yeah. You're telling jokes, you're just sitting down. It's the same thing. So once you get over the fact of what it is, it's a gig, isn't it? A gig's a gig.
100%. Yeah, that same thing kicks in of like, well, I've got to be funny now.
Yeah.
And I filmed it the week after the Queen died. So the Queen died, and then it was like, is it going to happen? So there was a real sort of don't mention the Queen and don't mention the royal family, don't mention anything. And then I've got a bit about something, a little jokey bit about Twitter being daily hate, that you go on to find out who to hate today.
Right.
And some guy at the front, Meghan. So then I had to do this. I thought, oh fuck, here we go. But I had to do this quick maths of like. So he went Meghan. So I thought, well, he hates Meghan. Everyone booed him. So I thought, he hates Meghan. They've all booed him.
How do you know they're booing him and not Meghan?
They were, no, it was him.
Yeah,
they
okay.
Just for whatever happened in the room.
Yeah.
Because I had eyes and ears and all that.
Yeah,
and then, so I thought, if they're pro Meghan, they're sort of supposedly, I suppose, secular anti-royalists. So I thought, I don't know where I stand. And so I sort of said, so I almost did that maths on stage and went, oh, look at you. I could have done my Prince Andrew joke then. They were going, do it. Anyway, the producer...
Live at the Apollo?
Yeah. So the producer of the show must have fell out because he's like, don't mention the royal family.
Do you know if...
But I didn't do it.
Do you know if that's making it in?
No. God, no, I don't think, no way.
Definitely not.
I think the...
Beauty of the edit.
Yeah, I think no way. No way, but it was a bit of fun.
It's a liberty being heckled, isn't it? 1 minute after you get on stage on a TV recording.
Who are
horrible. These people?
Do you know what it is? They love to feel part of it, don't they, hecklers? And actually all the off the cuff stuff that they loved, because you're allowed 2 fucks no cunt on Live at the Apollo, I was told.
2 fucks no cunt.
You're only allowed 2 fucks, and to quote my mum, when I told her that, she went, well, what are you going to say then? I was like, the whole set, babes. But so
did you have to so this is interesting, joke wise, did you change a cunt to another word, and did that change the joke and the rhythm and stuff?
Yeah, so I changed a cunt to a prick. So once the cunt turned into a prick,
a go-to, isn't it?
So then I changed an earlier gag. So I changed a setup to a gag that said bullshit. So I stopped. At the start of the gag, I used bullshit and ending cunt. But where I softened the cunt to prick, then bullshit had to get softened for the prick to bang.
Love that.
Do you see what I mean?
Because you can't... It's the equivalent of if you're dealing with a heckler and straight at the beginning of a show, if you use the C word, you've got nowhere to go.
You've got nowhere to go,
It's like using a knife after a gun, isn't it?
So what did you...
So I said, there's a joke that I have, my big joke... where it's about bitching and bitchy feelers. I don't know if you've seen me do it, but it's about work and how you can't go balls deep on a bitch. You've got to do bitchy feelers. And so I say then, you do the bitchy feeler, and if the person you're talking to goes, yeah, and most of it's bullshit, you're like, we're in. But so I changed that to, yeah, you can't believe half of, and something like you can't believe half of it, or you can't believe most of it, or so just something very nice. So that the prick banged at the end, which is when I say But men don't have to do bitchy feelers. They're straight down the line about it. They'll, I've started jobs before on the first day, but like, everyone's all right. Pete's a bit of a cunt or Pete's a bit of a prick. And you're like, whoa.
So did you find that took it away from the job? It didn't bang as well as it would normally have banged?
No, I think it banged.
Okay.
And I
So
think
would you change it?
No, don't be silly. I'm very good at saying the C
word. How many? What would you reckon your cunt count is in your 20-minute set?
Do you know what though? Sometimes. Do you know what's funny? I was talking to someone. I think it was John Mann actually. It might have been John Mann.
Love John Mann.
I love John Mann, and he said something like, or one of them old school It might have been John Mann, or it could have been the very brilliant Ian Stone actually, even who I'd put in the same camp of. Brilliant
friend of the podcast,
old school, brilliant people. So I think he's. So I said to him, "Oh, I'm worried it can be a bit cunt heavy," because it's not exactly not on brand though, is it? It's not exactly out of character. So and that's it. I think sometimes it jars when you think someone. I think sometimes swearing gratuitously comes across when it doesn't feel in character.
If I did, they wouldn't go for it.
No,
at all.
And I would say something like, "Oh, I've got a joke, for instance, where I talk about." Something like, and then they spent 6 hours cunting her off on Twitter. But I would say, I was cunting them off because it's just unfortunately how I talk. But sometimes I can come away thinking, oh God, that was a bit.
Right.
Do
you ever get anyone complaining about that?
No, but what you sometimes get, especially as a woman, and sometimes these certain promoters will go, oh, you swear a lot. But they're kind of saying it in a way to put you back in your place because you've just destroyed. And I don't care. I'm not one to sort of wave the sort of...
If you're smashing the room, you can't. There's just no.
Yeah.
What kind of cunt would tell you like you swear too much?
But I do know when there's a difference. For some reason, there's a difference when I know that I'm swearing and I see other comedians do it when you're not doing too well. So you almost like kick going. Yeah, I don't. You might as well be chewing gum. Couldn't give a fuck, mate. I can feel my fuck count go up. It's the fuck count that goes up when I feel like I'm not doing well.
Right. So were you constantly throughout your Live at Apollo set trying to remember not to do that, or had you practiced enough that...
No, it was such a rule for me that it was, and actually I really enjoyed the process of tidying up my set, and because it's always nice when you think I can do a clean set. I did the Now show for Radio 4, which was clean and shaped. I love writing to spec, and I love writing for a purpose, and I love cleaning stuff because I think, oh no, I can write jokes. Do you understand what I mean? So that's a nice feeling. I'd love to be a clean comedian.
Laura, who was on the episode of Live at Apollo with you?
So Kay Kurd hosted it, and that felt really nice because he keeps things normal. Kay Kurd, I might as well have been up the creek, and he's one of these sort of.
He's not trying to psych you out backstage or anything.
No, he's doing the opposite way. He's like he's a bit bully boy tactics, and he's like mugging you off. Like, you know what I mean? He'll go, no, like fresh kicks, but like I don't know. He sort of banters you, and you go, it kept it all feel very normal. Some things make you laugh, don't they? And then they just seem to not bang for some reason.
That's what we're after.
Yeah, of course. I had a joke. Like that bitchy feelers bit was something that I didn't have the confidence as a performer to perform for a long while. Like, so I had the idea brewing for a long time, and anytime I tried it, because I'm a bit of a set it up, knock it down person. Yes. So anything that you need to commit to and maybe delay the kind of laughter, I think I was quite scared at the beginning. So that was something that didn't work. And then I don't know. One joke when it was my first ever gig, and I've never repeated it because I committed to it so hard, and it didn't bang, and it was just so embarrassing.
It is hard if you have to commit. You really commit to something and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and it was literally my first ever gig ever, and it was a joke about teaching. Maybe it's funny, and maybe it's like I'm too embarrassed to ever return to it with a bit more performing chops, which is. That's the best time to
sort of... You might be able to say it better.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to remember it now. I should have remembered it before I come here. It goes like about teaching being quite tough. It's all, why are you late? Stop running down the corridor. Your skirt's too short. And I'm like...
Nice. I like it.
I'm like, you can't speak to me like that without a union rep present.
Yeah, I like it. That's a proper joke.
It's a proper joke. I do like writing jokes, I really committed to it so hard that I was like, rah! And then it went to silence, and I think there's sort of part of me it holds this sort of terrified kind of space. It was met with silence.
I'm annoyed with you that you haven't pursued that, because that's a really, really funny joke.
I think I've told it better. I've probably told it better to you just sitting here.
Yeah, but you're a better comic now.
Yeah.
So maybe if you watch back, you probably won't remember it, but maybe you just delivered it terribly.
Yeah.
But I think also with that, if you don't pause on talk to me like that, because to me that's where the bang is. Talk to me like that. That's where you reveal what the joke is, and then if you say the next bit all in one, so don't talk about that, and there's you're talking over where they could be laughing. Yeah. So maybe you need don't talk to me like that, laughter, and then continue it.
You rep present.
But you might have been nervous, and I
was terrified
because that's a long punch. That's too long a punchline, really. But if it was complete silence, that sounds like that's something else was going wrong. But I think
I didn't. So even just for the minute I go, and I'm like, but if I go, you can't speak to me like that.
Yes.
But I think,
don't say I'm like. Yeah. So I
think I said, so I was like, you can't. I'm like, you can't really speak to me like that. Like that union rep. I don't know.
Actually, let's break it. Hang on. Let's break that down a bit closer. So you do the last one. That skirt's too short.
Yeah.
And then from there, can you get to the punch? The actual punch without giving it away, because if you say "and I'm like," that means they know where the joke's going before the punchline. Because so is there a way of doing it? Which I think you'll agree they shouldn't talk to me like that. Yeah. That way, I think you'll agree that could still be you talking to the kids. Yeah. So with that gets the punch all on that one moment.
Yeah, this is it. It's about refining the punch. So. What's funny, you both sniggered as soon as I went, and I'm like, so I could just go, and I'm like, rude. That's enough, isn't it? So I suppose I just didn't understand enough of the kind of.
What you need is just to try it a load of times at new material gigs, and then you'll find where the biggest pop comes. Yeah, that's a good joke, especially if that's to me that's an opener. Yeah, because
I was thinking that used to be a teacher.
It's a really nice. It's a natural in, and also if you've got a few pullback and revealy jokes, maybe they would see that coming. If that's your first few, they don't know what you are, so they don't know what you're going to be doing. Yeah, so I think it's really funny.
It's so funny. I'm literally like, I feel like like vulnerable. Even you giving me feedback. It occupies such a space
because
that was probably the first
for me. Because that was the first time you
ever, you
died. Wow,
you've just locked it into a little box.
No, it's my first ever gig. I did it right. I did that. That was in my first ever gig.
And where was that gig?
At Cavendish, obviously.
Cavendish Arms in Stockwell.
Yeah. And it was on an Easter Monday, April 22nd. So it was like,
wow, that's so funny.
Do you remember your first date, Mark? April 22nd.
I don't remember anything like that. I fell into doing it, so it wasn't like scheduled, like it was just really by accident. So no, I wish I did know.
By accident.
Well, it's just sort of because I was really shy talking in front of people. I'd never even considered that I could do it. And my mate, I bumped into a mate of a mate, and he'd been doing the open mic circuit, and he just convinced me to go and have a go. So it was all very rushed.
Oh, lovely.
So I didn't have much time to plan or think or anything. I just sort of went and had a go at it. So no, I'd love to know all the details, how many gigs and.
I wouldn't know how many gigs. I think that would have.
I've made a note of that because it'd be fascinating to know. Can you remember any jokes from that first sort of the course or anything that didn't really hit?
Yeah. Well, one of my biggest. Well, it didn't really hit. Yeah, let me think. Everything's just got a lot shorter, to be honest.
Just learn how.
Everything's just got a lot shorter, and so I really I did the gong. I did the blackout. This is such a shit. I've never really bombed, but the blackout, Johnny Cochran said to me after the blackout, and some people hate feedback, I'm not, I love feedback, come and talk to me, love it. He went, your bangs bang, he went to me, and I got a special mention, someone else absolutely, I thought I was brilliant, beat the blackout, it's only about my 8th gig or something like that. Yeah. And then someone just came on and went, oh yeah, you're going to fuck, you know when you go, oh yeah, you're going to win it. Yeah. But I got a little special mention, a little mini bottle of Prosecco or whatever. And he went, look, your bangs bang, but you take too long to get there, he went.
Yeah, nice. Good
and
feedback.
That was all my jokes. I just took too long to get there. So I just cut all the fat from it, totally.
Brilliant. So any other bits, like recent bits that you've sort of liked but haven't quite hit?
What am I... I've got a bit at the minute. I had a really stinker at Top Secret on Sunday because I don't know why.
We always love to hear about the stinkers.
Yeah. It ended up quite good, but I just got back from holiday, so I was sort of just talking about that, and I forgot that I actually had to do a.
Did you?
You sort of like I started going
riffing,
and a bit of new material because my head was buzzing on holiday, and I was writing loads of things, and I almost just couldn't wait for a new material night, so I sort of went down there. And they were looking at me like, babes, are you all right? Because I had a joke about getting fit because I need to get fit. And do you know what? Talking about my weight, people can go, oh, no, we don't want you to insult yourself. When I first started, I talked about my weight a lot.
The thing is, you're very likeable on stage, so they probably don't want you to.
Yeah, and I think, and I mean, I've put on weight, so I wasn't even that big. I think Jeff Innocent said to me once, you're not that big.
That's the thing.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you're putting your securities. Like they might say this. You know, it's that classic when you start. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
you know,
let themselves go, whatever.
Some people.
I look like this.
Like sometimes some people go, "Oh, I'm terrible with women," but they're quite good looking.
Yeah.
I actually remember someone doing that, saying they had no chance of getting a date, and I was thinking, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe what you think they see, they don't see.
And that's really weird. And I've talked to comedians about that. That kind of I've seen very, very few comedians get that right. How they think the audience sees them, and you go, no, that's not how that's not the first thing I'm getting from you at all. Or and I've seen comedians insult themselves, and I think, oh no,
Yeah.
And actually, I've shelved a lot of that stuff because they don't want to hear it. And actually, I've had to learn how to reframe it. So I'm very careful when I talk about anything about my appearance that because you don't want to So that's the sort of stuff that I've got rid of. And I was talking about that, and I was talking about because I'd been skiing, and I was like, realizing how difficult. Like it was, I really kind of was doing this big, quite physical thing for the first time in a long time. And I thought, I was really aware of, hang on, this has crept on. And talking about it, people got really, really uncomfortable. Oh, really? And I was saying that I said, I move. I think this is really funny. I said, I do move slow though. I said, whatever I do, I move slow. I said, I can get pins and needles when I'm walking. And no one laughed.
That's a really good line.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. And no one laughed.
For me, that is because they don't want to laugh.
They felt they were worried about me.
Well, also, that's actually quite a clever joke as well that does maybe take a second to get.
And because it also depends. If you've only tried that once...
It's a great line, but it just took me a second.
Sometimes, if that's top secret during the week...
It's just a Sunday evening, but it was... And I opened...
might not be... Sometimes crowds aren't that savvy because they're there... Yeah. Depends on the night of week at Top Secret, I think. So I wouldn't judge it on that. But I think that's a really good line. I like that.
Yeah, and I've got a joke as well. And in some crowds, it goes down an absolute treat. And some people just are so scared of laughing at it. Because I say that I think... it's a whole thing about things being overrated. And I use it as a segue to talk about my weight. And like I say, I've had to learn to be really careful on it. But I think it's really funny. And sometimes it bangs. But sometimes it don't. Only occasionally it bangs. Sometimes people just go, but it goes like this. So I say, I think barbecues are overrated. This is all solid, which is like,
I'm out.
When's it start a barbecue? When's it end? Why is the chicken going back in the oven? What the fuck's going on? And also it's like I like the idea of a barbecue. It's summer. I'm humble. I say summer day, go outside. Someone's having a barbecue. Perfect. I said my ideal. Neighbours having a barbecue. Can hear the tunes. Good vibes. I'm in the kids' paddling pool, can of Red Stripe Bosch. It's lovely. That's perfect. They're all having a laugh. Lovely.
Yeah.
And then I say, course, then the paranoia kicks in, doesn't it? You start thinking, what they laughing at? And then I do a kind of look down at myself.
Right. Okay,
and deep down, I know the answer. It's a fat cunt in the paddling pool, right? Which I think is a grand. And I think a man could tell it. I think that there's sort of women, like people go, oh no, a woman. I think there is something about weight. It's like Do
you think the look down gives the joke away?
Oh yeah, they love it though, but that's kind of...
They like the look down?
I don't know whether... But I think they just think, oh no, she's called... But I sort of then carry on and go, can you call yourself a fat cunt anymore? I don't even know the rules. Anymore. I just think one day women are going to end up having to protest with placards just for the right to look in the mirror and go, sort it out, you fat cunt. Do you know? But I think people get really scared, but I don't care. Like, I think think it's, and so I kind of back it with, I am body positive. I tell them I'm body positive. I look in the mirror, I love myself, I get whoops and cheers, and then I see a photo and I think, who the fuck is that? Because it's true. It's like, you kind of, I always find you have to let them know, oh, I'm all right.
Yeah, so if you establish earlier that you're body positive.
Yeah. So it's always a funny thing that I'm playing with, but I feel like...
Because you could even say...
See, you're still laughing.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think it's one of them where they don't know whether they're allowed to laugh, but you know, you do it out in Essex or a real
me,
Larry
the fact that
crowd.
you're a comedian on stage saying it, they should know they're allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
But also... Some London crowds are more right on, kind of overly right on. So if you did that in a village hall in
Newcastle.
Oh, yeah. Up north, they love it. Or like, more sort of regional stuff.
We did a really hipster gig.
We did.
And I haven't got time to go into it. But they were super tense about anything. And it's just like, well, you can't judge any material on that.
I'm always reticent to go down that road of saying that, but bloody hell, it was true. It was really true.
We got it on camera. So
they
it's
were all
real.
just sort of, wouldn't it? You said something, and it was. It's well, I don't know, it's that woke thing, isn't it? Which I'm always a little bit
because we question. I went into them like, why did you get weird about that? And they couldn't give an answer because it was an instant gut reaction. And
what was it? What was it then about?
There's a joke.
I just can't think of anything you say that's offensive.
It's a joke where it's a wordplay on, but the word Nigerians in it. And as soon as I said it, they were tense, and it was so the wordplay is. That's it. It's about a tribute act. So I recently sent transferred a lot of money to a Nigerian prince about the emails.
Yeah.
And I went, brilliant tribute act. So it's a good solid gag. But
it's a joke about Prince, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a joke about no, exactly. And the fact that those emails are a Nigerian prince. Yeah. If it was a Spanish prince,
I love
the
that
same joke would work.
Yeah, no, but it is.
But it gets them tense. So it's one of those things where loads of comedians said you should still do it. It's a good joke. But for me, I want everyone to laugh.
Yeah.
So if I don't laugh, there's no point doing the joke.
But do you remember what happened? You went. This was it. Mark wouldn't let it go. So you said.
I wouldn't let it go.
You said, "What was that, mate?" And what did he say?
No. So what happened was the whole room was super quiet and awkward.
I was MCing. I could feel the sweat dripping down my face as I was trying to get them going at the beginning.
So and they were so awkward, and I was like, no, because if I don't go into it, they all think I've said something dodgy, which I haven't. So I'm not going to have it. So I went into it and say, why? Come on, guys. What's actually? Can anyone tell me what? I think you're a bit overreacting. There's nothing wrong with that. It's technically a good joke. Nothing offensive in it in the slightest. And then this one guy shook his head like that, and I went to him. Why are you shaking your head? He went, move on, like this.
Drop me out.
Yeah. So I then sort of went into it. And sort of explained, I literally spoke through the whole joke and said that there's literally nothing wrong with anything that's being said there.
Yeah.
And then it was awkward. And then at the end, he came up to me, and it's quite posh. He was like, sorry about that. And I said, what was wrong with it? He went, it's because it was a dad's joke. So he'd realised he couldn't. They'd only reacted, and he had an excuse. But like, if it's a dad joke, you wouldn't say move on. That's not a reaction to a dad joke. So,
but this is, I think this is like, if you get into the word woke, like woke is like, it's such a sleight of hand how that word is being used now. Because like woke for me, I always understood that it's like, I stay woke. That kind of like this kind of people that, might kind of really see what's going on, going beyond the kind of accepted main narrative of things and kind of looking outside the box and kind of not accepting these things wholesale, or have done a fuckload of acid and gone, I see what's going. This is what it's really about, gang. So this idea that these kind of angry people that don't really know themselves are woke. They're not woke. They're actually quite insecure and so self kind of editing that they don't then know how to be in the flow. Like I would associate wokeness with a sense of a kind of flow and whole of humanity together. So of course then that's kind of then been sort of then engineered to say, well, we need to consider everyone and love everyone. But then there's a sort of patronising element of that you're so terrified that this, blue-eyed, tall white guy is going to go, this is about stereotyping Nigerians negatively.
Yeah.
When actually we have no clue that behind these emails is a Nigerian prince. It's just a meme in the true sense of the word that we all, a cultural point that we all understand, isn't it? It's like we've all had those emails in the same way we've all had Viagra emails or single girls in our area emails. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, so it's that sort of I don't know whether I'd hurt someone laughing at this. So it might come from a nice place, but also it might come from a nice place mentally, but actually if there's no ill will in that room, who are you protecting? Are you protecting the possible, what if this is leaked and a Nigerian person sees it? Like, because every Nigerian would laugh at that. And there's jokes, for instance, I tell in black rooms, well, as a shorthand, I'll say urban circuit or black audiences, that I would never tell in a white audience, which is proof that you're saying, you know what I mean? I was joking at an Ori Styler's gig the other week about Twitter and all that sort of thing, about the Queen dying and how black Twitter couldn't give a shit. I said, but when Angela Lansbury died, fucking hell, murder she wrote, you know, everyone wanted their 10 days. And it was like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'd never tell that joke anywhere other than for black people. Do you understand what I mean? And it's like, I've been, you know, like Raj Pujara, we did that. I watched his Latitude set, and once again, he can't say the word Indian or Pakistani without the collective arsehole clenching in the field. Like you're at a festival and it's an Asian man talking about Asian things, and Shazia Mirza same on a mixed bill in Edinburgh. She went, "Don't worry, your Guardian readers, you'll laugh when you get home, so it feels safe." They couldn't laugh at anything she said.
It's just so frustrating because, like, down to the raw joke writing of it, if those emails came from a Spanish prince or any other prince, that would work perfectly. But I can't change it to Spanish prince because everyone will go, well, those emails don't come from a Spanish prince.
Well, this is it. There's a nice little element of reality, and then we saw that to subversion. I mean, but it is just also but there is an element of it being really funny that there's a Nigerian guy, you know, I know Prince, but like a Nigerian guy like that loves Prince that much that he's a tribute act in Nigeria. It's just there is some fun in that, isn't there?
And I bet there is one.
Well? Of course there is.
I bet there's an everything Prince.
Yeah. But it's weird that, isn't it? But there is such a weird feeling when you know you've lost the crowd. I did a gig just before Christmas in High Wycombe. You know, it's like a curb gig with like
Hellfire, Hellfire,
something like where they're all sat around having their Christmas dinner, all that.
Oh, you did the Christmas one.
You know what I mean? So I went, Wendalusia. Was it the fat cunt stuff like this? Then someone went, McCann's, and I'm like, oh, drop me out. But that's another joke. One of my jokes is bred from someone not finding it funny, and I went into the comedy room and going, guys, I really offended someone with this joke. This is funny, ain't it? So but when you feel that collective arsehole clench, you go, I've kind of got, you're brilliant at it. Where do I address this? Where do I go? I emceed the boat show the other weekend.
I always go at whatever the situation is.
To.
That's my rule. Because like I said, I don't want all those people leaving and they could go, Mark Simmons is racist. It's like, you've got to defend yourself if they've gone weird, I think.
In a weird way though, Mark, I feel like your act has become, I don't know whether there's a shift of like, now your audience interaction's my favourite thing in the whole wide world. You're explaining the joke. It just gives me like deep delight when you go into that for like, I don't even want to hear the rest of your jokes. Let's keep doing that. I don't know.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? You emceed the boat show?
Oh, and they said, there's a corporate big group booking in. Honestly, I felt the whole night was me going, and Milton Jones was on warming up for his last ever mock the week. He went, and then I felt really responsible for MC. I found out it was like 60 Norwegians, so any nuance was gone. So it felt like a frozen.
Well, that's like, I know from personal experience that Milton will definitely struggle there because any wordplay when it's not your first language is totally.
And that's all it was. It all made sense. And once I knew that, at lunchtime, the six, whatever it's called, the break. The interval. I always have a snap. So it was like, it's 60 Norwegians, and then everything just felt. I'm going to tell. This leads in nicely to my next new joke, which I used. Didn't go well in Top Secret, but I think there's something there. Is that I've become conscious of my foreign accent. So I've got a foreign accent. That's not to say I've got a foreign accent, but when I speak to foreign people, I talk. I like this, yes. Like I realised I did it on, that kind of, no, we went to the restaurant, just down on the other side of the square. Yes. Good. It was good, but expensive. And like just so there's something there of like working on my foreign accent. Again,
because your mouth gets bigger.
Yes.
You really...
slower and louder, don't you?
Yeah.
I hate myself,
because you can describe what you do.
Yeah, I hate myself. Yeah, should I describe what I do?
Yeah.
My mouth goes big. I hate myself. I hate myself when I do it. So I don't know. There's something there, but I think again because I said foreign accent, everyone went.
Yeah.
But I'm flagging the fact that I'm a prick.
Yeah. That's another word. Foreign is another word that's triggering.
Yeah.
Well, because we were talking about wrestling before, weren't we?
Yeah.
And they used to use the term foreign object. When someone bring a chair in the ring and hit him over the head with a chair, that was called a foreign object.
Yeah.
Of course, now that isn't particularly the parlance of the day, shall we say, to say it's a foreign object.
It's an international object.
International object.
Oh, no, well, what's the new thing of ethnic minority? It's global majority. And the people have objected to that.
Oh, right, cool.
It's a phrasing that someone's used to say, I don't know, like, if you're an ethnic minority in this country, you're still the global majority. But it's like, I saw a really good analysis for that, which was like, fuck off, drop me out. That doesn't solve the issue. You've changed the wording. That's great. It's solved. Well done. You've solved racism. Now can we have some equality, you dickheads? Yeah.
Wow, that is the end of the episode.
Oh, really?
That has flown by. That was so good. So thank you so much for coming on.
Welcome.
Is there anything you want to tell people to see or do or watch or... where can they find your stuff?
Do you know what I'm doing? I am. Please do look out this year. I don't know if I'm taking it to Edinburgh, but I'm going to spend a year perfecting an hour. I've not done an hour yet because of.
Take it to Edinburgh.
No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather go Spain. But use me for an accent. But so come and check out my Instagram and. For my works in progress, it's just that Laura Smyth.
That Laura Smyth.
And
Smyth is spelled with a Y.
Like the toy shop.
Important.
Indeed.
Like the toy shop.
But we don't have shares. It's, so that's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Give Danny a follow at...
Danny Ward Comedian.
Come see us on tour. Tickets available now. Tours from the end of April until the end of July at marksimmons.co.uk or on my social media at Jokes with Mark. Danny, anything more from you?
No, apart from I can't wait to see you on stage.
Oh.
Nothing more from me, Mark. Anything more from you, Mark?
Nothing more from me, Danny. #Awooga, everybody.